So if you've ever thought about traveling to Thailand, there's a really good chance that you've been told about how cheap it is. Well, in this video, I'm going to go through our entire costs of our time in Thailand, and it will be interesting to see if it actually is as cheap as you'd thought. Hello everyone, TJ here from TJ and B Traveling. There's no B today because we are doing another one of these costs of living type videos, and we want to show you the real truth about living in Thailand and how it is possible for you to come to Phuket, have a great time and make your money worth it. So we spent a total of 2 months in Phuket, Thailand, and because we're kind of nerds and find this stuff quite interesting, we track every single baht, and therefore we can compare it to dollars, pounds, whatever money and currency you spend to see quite how far and quite how expensive it is to live there. Let me first start by saying that Thailand is an amazing place. The food is great, the views are superb, and the people are amazingly friendly there. Also, if you're a beach type person that likes that sort of laid back island life, or a combat athlete, then I do think that we would recommend Phuket in particular. We made a few videos about our time in Thailand already, which you can check in one of the corners in a playlist. But for now, I really want to break down and show you the costs that we incurred in our time in Phuket, in Rawaii Beach in Thailand. I should also quickly mention that this is based upon, obviously, our lifestyle and our choices. This isn't to say that this is better or worse, or, you know, any sort of judgment on any type of way of living. It's just the choices that we made. There are also some costs that I didn't expect coming that kind of caught me out, but you know, we'll get into those later. Let's just get into the overall costs. Okay, so the way we're gonna break this down is to put this stuff into different categories. So we've got accommodation, utilities, transport, gym, BJJ, massage, groceries, eating out, coffee shops, protein powder, gas or petrol, if you're American, gas, if you're English, petrol, and then random stuff such as pharmacy, clothes, little things that we wanted to buy. Okay, so let's start with accommodation. You can find all kinds of prices of rent in Thailand, from the most luxurious villa to a really simple apartment. It will depend obviously on the type of accommodation you choose, as well as the location on your cost. We chose to live in Rawaii Beach in Phuket. It's a nice area. There are a lot of other expats there. There are a lot of digital nomads there. There's lots of stuff to do. There's coffee shops, restaurants, beaches, gyms, and lots of other spots around. Rawaii is definitely a great spot, and whilst it is quite popular with expats, it's not as touristy as some of the other areas of Phuket, and that was something that really did appeal to us. It was a bit more calm, a bit more laid back, without the hectic vacationing scene. Our particular area had supermarkets, restaurants and cafes all within walking distance of our apartment, plus the beach was actually like 10 minutes away. You couldn't swim there, you could, like, it was just to park boats, but it was still 10 meters away. It was great. Not just the location, but the apartment itself was really cool with the complex and everything. Rather than go through all of that stuff, we've already done a video guiding you through our apartment, so I'll put that in the information button above, and I'll put it in the links below. Anyway, the cost for our apartment was 17,500 baht, which translates to roughly around 500, a little bit more than 500 US dollars. On top of that, we also had to pay kind of utilities, where we paid for our internet, electricity and water, and that was all taken care of by our apartment, but we still had to pay it on top of the rent. That was about 1,500 baht a month, which is roughly $45. You can obviously find cheaper places in Phuket, but we love this place. We love the convenience. It was a little bit cheaper than had we got it through Airbnb, which is what we normally do. We really loved everything about it. It was simple, and that cost seemed about right to live where we live. Our next big expense was groceries. Groceries, we spent 5,710 baht a month. That translates to roughly 160 US dollars. So with our grocery shopping, it doesn't just include food, it also includes bathroom things and things to clean the apartment. But probably that isn't the bigger cost. The bigger cost is food. We eat at home very often, preparing meals for the week and always having things ready to eat. It saves us time, money. It's just our style of living. It's what we want to do. And even though we're in Thailand where eating out is quite cheap, we decided to do this just more for the convenience factor, for the factor that we could still enjoy our diet, we could enjoy our time there and not get distracted and waste time kind of going out and eating food. Plus the local markets as well as the supermarkets are great. They are stocked full of amazing fresh fruits and vegetables, lots of different types of Asian food as well. And for us as vegetarians, we could also find nice and cheap tofu in basically every single market. That monthly spend on food for us is basically nothing. We would spend that in the US almost per week. So you get a bit of an idea of how much food we get through and how far that goes in the supermarkets. Buying your groceries, it's very, very cheap to buy and sustain in Thailand. It's also cheap to eat out in restaurants, and as athletes, as I've already said, we do eat quite a lot. Even with the prepared meals at home, we enjoyed the food out in restaurants in Thailand massively. Around Rawaii Beach where we were, there are so many vegan and vegetarian friendly options and restaurants in themselves, which was perfect for us. The food is fresh, tasty, and for the most part, very, very, very affordable. We spent around 10,330 baht, which translates to roughly around $300 US a month on eating out. Admittedly, we could have spent less by not going to the westernized places and just eating at the local Thai places. There are some local Thai places there where it's very common to get meals for less than like $3 US per meal, and it's a substantial meal. You can eat out very, very cheaply if you stick to the local Thai food. If you want to branch out and you want to go to the expat-owned restaurants or the westernized restaurants, you're still probably not spending more than $20 US per person per time. That's for us because we don't drink alcohol much, so that isn't too much of a factor either. We'd have the occasional beer. Overall, if you drink lots and lots of wine with your meals, that's going to go up. But for us, yeah, we're never really spending more than $20 US per person. I think we've done this in our other videos where we've categorized coffee shops different to eating out and to groceries, because we don't just go out to coffee shops to eat. We also will go there for coffee, but mostly for work. It's just a nice change of scenery for us. A few times a week we would go to a coffee shop. It's a very popular thing to do, especially in Rawaii Beach in Thailand. It's a very popular thing to do, to go out to have a nice coffee and get some work done with a bit of a change of scenery. In coffee shops, we spent exactly 5,170 baht, which is about 146 US per month. Like I say, we would go to coffee shops a few times a week, have a nice coffee and or breakfast and or lunch, and get a decent amount of work done. It was always a nice way to change scenery, not just to be in an apartment when we're working. And yeah, $146 was how much we spent per month. Okay, so next up we have transport. Our transport options were very basic. We just got a scooter and we spent 3,000 baht per month for that scooter. We used to go literally everywhere in our scooter. Scooter was good and powerful enough to carry the two of us. I weighed like 100 kilos and I was fine on it. It was great. We cannot complain. 450 baht in gasoline was also spent on top of that, so that's about $12 for the whole month. And we would go everywhere. Most trips would be from 10 to 15 minutes on the scooter. Very easy to get around, very easy to park, very easy to explore, because the trips that would take up to 30 minutes to an hour, we would still go on the scooter and it would be fine. Clearly a very cheap way to get around. And I should also actually add technically that wasn't our only transport cost. I got pulled over by the police, and even though we were both wearing helmets and I thought everything was in order, apparently my international permit was only for cars, and therefore I think I got a 3,000 baht fine. It might have been 5,000. I'll put it in the video. I'm not quite sure how much it was, but we definitely got fined. That probably should be factored into that cost, but that's gonna not go into the transport cost. That'll go into the other random things. Definitely something you want to watch out for if you're driving, especially as a Westerner in Thailand. There are kind of traps or situations where police want to catch you, and not necessarily catch you to throw you in jail or to be a dick, just to get a little bit of extra money out of you, because they can. Like, they fined me for not having the right license I was still able to drive. I was still able to carry on going on my scooter and be fine for the rest of my time in Thailand. I just had to pay that fine and then move on. Bit weird. The next category of cost is going to be massages. It's a weird category of costs for any other place in the world, but in Thailand, it kind of makes sense. You can't come to Thailand and not have massages. You'll find so many massage places. There's probably as many massage places as there are supermarkets. There aren't as big a range on prices. Overall, it's just very reasonable to get a massage in Thailand, no matter where you go. So to treat our body well, we would get a massage at least once a week. We put it in our planner. Sometimes I would go for an extra one, particularly when I got injured. I was trying to heal that a little bit faster, so I was trying to get massages more often just to see if I could get recovered and back training a little bit faster. So that during that period, I think I got 2 or 3 a week for a couple of weeks, but nothing overly, I mean, that is overly extravagant, right? But it's not overly extravagant when you consider the price. We spent around 2,800 baht per month, which is 80-ish US dollars. And again, that's probably once a week for the average, but again, occasionally a little bit more. We're definitely living the dream, getting our weekly massages. Next category, gym and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As you may know, Phuket is a bit of a training paradise. It's known as one of the fight capitals of the world. I know people will say Las Vegas, but people that train seriously, a lot of them will say Phuket. A lot of top level UFC fighters, a lot of top level MMA, kickboxers, all different types of athletes will go to Phuket just to train. And obviously, we love training, so we love that. For our fitness work, we went to a local gym, Action Point. I've given a little bit of a walkthrough in one of our other videos, so I'll put that again in the little information button and in the description below. But for the two of us, it was perfect. It was close, it was convenient, it had all the equipment that we needed, and we paid 3,000 baht for the two of us per month. That's definitely one of the cheaper gyms in Phuket. Because Phuket is a training destination, you're often going to find that the gyms there are like speciality gyms for people that are going there just for weight loss and they're just there living at the gym. That was also a thing at Action Point, but Action Point was also quite appealable to the locals because it was a little bit more reasonable than some of the other options that were around Rawaii Beach and that area. It also had everything that we needed. You know, had the weights, had the fitness stuff, had a restaurant and a pool above. Like I say, I've already covered that in a video, so you can check that out if you wish. And then for our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training, which formed a lot of our time in Phuket, it was 5,000 baht per month for the two of us. That might seem expensive for some people that don't train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or don't train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the West, and especially don't know about how much it costs to train fighting, MMA, Muay Thai, or even Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Phuket in particular, where it's actually a lot more expensive than what you would find in the Western world. This gym was actually by far the most affordable Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym that we could find in Thailand, and it was actually amazing. It was good vibes, great grappling. We recommend it a lot. Phuket Grappling Academy. I guess I'll put a link to the gym or the gym's Instagram in the description below as well. We definitely love going there. We love the people there. And in fact, if you go there, I would absolutely recommend, if you're in Phuket and you want to train, Phuket Grappling Academy. They've recently upgraded to a huge gym. Awesome. If you go to Phuket and you train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I absolutely 100%, 1000% recommend you go there. And if you go there, tell Ben I said hi. Tell him I sent you. Tell him you watched one of these videos. Okay, and finally we get on to our extras. Every person has their own specific needs. Obviously, this is not like, cost of living isn't just to live, it's also what you spend whilst living. So we had our extra things, which actually unfortunately included quite a few doctor visits, pharmacy visits, and then we also got a lot of gifts, clothes, extra stuff for the house, and a few more things that were for our personal needs. That actually added up quite a bit. Not that much really when you consider like what it is, not relative, but in actual spend, it wasn't that much. But when you compare it to the relative cheap spend of everything else, it does seem proportionally quite high. But when you think of it as a total value, it's not that much at all. It's around 4,500 baht that we spend per month between us for our personal extra stuff. anyway, it's really bloody cheap. It's around $130 per month. Like, you may spend more, you may spend less, depending on what you get. This isn't an exact recipe. This is just extra stuff for our personal specific needs. And probably one final thing worth mentioning is something that I think has been removed from the extras category and put into its own category. Because it was a significant enough cost, and because Phuket has a large number of athletes, is protein powder. It was a bit surprising how much it cost considering the amount of athletes there. Not that surprising when you consider that Phuket is an island in Thailand where, you know, that supplements aren't a huge thing. We ended up paying 3,000 baht per month just for our protein powder, which is $85 US. Again, not a huge cost, but when you add in how expensive that is relative to everything else we spent, it is worth considering and probably putting it into its own category. All right, so in total, all of those categories added up, we spent 70,280 baht, which is around $2,000 per month for 2 people, eating out, going to places, having fun, enjoying ourselves in Phuket, Thailand. We had an amazing time there, still working, still living our life, but enjoying ourselves, doing everything that we wanted to do in Phuket without the feeling of guilt for spending too much, without stressing about spending too much. Specifically in Phuket, Rawaii was a great experience for us, and we would definitely recommend it to anyone that's considering living the type of life that we live, or just visiting. You know, you could do it for a few months like we did. You could do it for a short term. I definitely recommend it as a place to go. So what do you think? Is Phuket more expensive or cheaper than you thought? Is this worth it to you? Do you feel interested in going because of the cost, or has the cost actually turned you away and you'd rather go to somewhere else in Thailand? Phuket is definitely one of the more expensive places in Thailand. It's definitely one of the most expat populated places in Thailand. I do think one of the factors is the fighting lifestyle of the people there, but also the laid-back beach lifestyle. The digital nomad lifestyle is also popular, but it's also popular in other places in Thailand. But you know, your mileage may vary for how you choose to spend your time, how you choose to spend your money. Let us know your opinions in the comments. If you are planning on going to Thailand, if you do think it was more expensive, let us know. Also, if you want to know more about Phuket, we've got a few more videos in the description. I'll put them there, and I'll put them there. Check those out to check out our lifestyle that we lived in Phuket, spending that amount of money. Now, of course, one final thing I should mention is that we are traveling full-time, doing the digital nomad life, trying to document our journey along the way. If you would like to follow us along and support the videos that we're making, support us making these videos, or just enjoy watching these videos, please make sure you hit subscribe. It helps us as a channel out. It will also help make sure that you get all the videos into your YouTube page easier. Obviously, if you click the notification bell, that means that you get notified every single time we publish a new video that you might enjoy and find interesting. That'd be a great way to support us. It costs you absolutely nothing. Of course, if you found this video of any use at all, a thumbs up is always appreciated. It takes less than a second. And if you want to contribute, let us know in the comments below what you think about the cost, what you think about our time in Phuket, Thailand, or if you're planning to go there and this video helped you in any way, let us know in the comments below. We love having a conversation with you. All right, I think that wraps up the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, hope it was useful to you, and I'll see you in the next one.